I'm Tim Windsor from BlackBerry Developer Relations. In this video, we're going to cover 3 different ways of building your application. First, we'll look at using the command line, then building with RPL, and finally, using a custom build script. There are some prerequisites for building applications, and these are covered in earlier videos in this series. See the video on how to set up your WebWorks SDK and how do I write my first WebWorks application. The short version is to make sure that you have Java version 6, not 7, and 32-bit, not 64-bit. You also need the WebWorks SDK and your signing keys installed, though you can build an unsigned app and run it on the simulator without setting up your keys. Finally, every app requires a config.xml file to inform the packager what needs to be included. So let's look at using the command line. This is the tool that all the other methods depend on. The command is bbwp, and it's in the WebWorks SDK main directory. By default, you pass in the file name of a zip file or the name of a directory with your application code in it. Additionally, you pass in some parameters to sign the application, append a build ID to the version, turn on Web Inspector, or put the output files in a new location. So let's see an example of doing that. So here I am in a command prompt, and I'm in my directory with my BB10 WebWorks samples that I've downloaded from GitHub. You'll see on my command line that I've typed in here, I'm running bbwp, and I'm passing in the sensors folder, and I'm going to pass in the 2 parameters -d to turn on Web Inspector, and -o to give it an output location. So now that's run. It's built my application. It hasn't signed it because I didn't pass in a signing password, but it has turned on Web Inspector and it's put my files in the directory that I asked for. So let's check that out. So here in that sensors folder that I created, you'll see sensors.bar for both the device and the simulator. To build with RPL, you'll need to download RPL from the BlackBerry site. It's available on the Chrome store, but it doesn't come with the BlackBerry specific build options there. However, if you download it from the BlackBerry site, it will be kept up to date through the Chrome store. Also note that RPL is a Chrome extension, so you'll need to use Chrome to run it. Once you've got it installed, open it up, start up the RPL services, enter your details in the settings panel, and then run the package command. Let's see how that works. So here I've set RPL to run when I visit my local host, where I run a local web server. So I'm looking at my sensors example, the same one I built using the command line. So first thing I need to do is start the RPL services. Once you see this message, it's ready to go. I need to go to settings, make sure that all of this information is filled out. So I've got my SDK path in here. I've got the root of my project, which is my sensors sample. My archive name, which is sensors, because I want to create a sensors.bar file. I put in the same output folder. Now in this case, I'm going to build it and deploy it to my simulator. So I put my IP address of my simulator in there, and now that's ready to go. So now that we've put all that in, we run package and launch. Let's see the output here. Okay, looks like it's good. Build succeeded. Let's see the simulator. And there's my application launched on the simulator. So for our last example, let's talk about using a build script. There is a fairly extensive Ant build script provided in GitHub in the community repository. However, if you prefer to use a different tool, you could create your own with something like anvil.js, Jake, or even standard shell scripts like bash or batch files. You are free to use the Ant script as a guideline for creating those other scripts, and contributions back to the community would certainly be appreciated. Build scripts depend on the command line tools that we already discussed, but they are really valuable even for a single developer. Every time you work on a project, you can run the build without having to do a bunch of setup, or spend time typing in a bunch of different commands. You just launch the build process. If you do your script like the Ant sample, the setup to use the script with other projects is also minimal. You can define a true process that is followed by the script, things like cleaning out artifacts from an old build or controlling which targets are built for. By scripting the process, it becomes consistent. You can focus on the top level targets, like do you want to build for production or for testing, and you don't have to think about the individual steps. The result is great for your sanity. Lastly, scripts are automated, so you can save time, and they could be used with continuous integration, or maybe adding in test running. You can realize not just iteration speed, but quality gains as well. There's a video available on setting up the Ant build script and using it with a Sublime text editor. I recommend watching that if you're interested in using it. With the Ant build script, we've been able to add in some great extra features, like automatically cleaning out your destination, only including the important files, and even including JSLint and JSHint checking on your files before being built. It's also able to build for multiple platforms and multiple different types of builds all at the same time. It's available on GitHub, and there's a link with the video. Thanks very much for watching.